here in his den. Hey, it's time. We are looking at captains for round 15. But, hey, if you love your rum like this pirate, then get to our live shows in Adelaide. Tom Rockcliffe will be there for that. There's one show still remaining, and the other one is over in Perth, where we've already sold out one, and then this one is going to be a little bit different. A few more beers, watching the footy, fantasy, woo, having a good time. So, let's have a look at captains. The details for those tickets can be found over at dreamteamtalk.com. Number one, we are looking at, oh geez, do you like using this guy on a Thursday night? We are talking about Clayton Oliver. Now, Brisbane, the fifth easiest team for mids to score against this year. Oliver's coming off that 146 in round 13, which gave him his second score over 140 in his last 4 weeks. That's pretty elite. Add to the numbers what he's had on Brisbane in the past. 102, 86, 156, 111, 125. For a vice captain option, people, Clayton Oliver is the best pick in town, but you're going to have to VC that on Thursday night. The second best, I reckon, this week is Jack Macrae. Now, Macrae, 148 last week. No, I'm not chasing that. Don't worry about that. Number one on form in the last 3, going at 126. The thing is, he's up against Hawthorn. Hawthorn is still easy to score against. We used to look at these guys, what we used to with what West Coast is at the moment, but the Hawks are still giving up plenty of points. So, what's he done on them in the past? Okay, 128, 112, 124, 116, 126, if you don't mind, Jack Macrae. Now, you're like, Cal, Dunkley Macrae, what are you doing? This is why I don't like Dunkley at the moment. Well, obviously, because he's not scoring very much. He only had 51 on the Hawks last year. Okay, that's fine. But we talked about his ability to hit those 130s. It hasn't been happening. One score over 120 in his last 6. He's dropped off. Maybe we've just hung on to him for a little bit too long. So we've got Oliver, we've got Macrae. After that, we are looking at Lachie Neale in the same game as Clayton Oliver Thursday night. Number 3 man on form, going at 125 in his last 3. Previous scores against Melbourne, we all should know by now, Melbourne actually give up points to midfielders. 140, 71, that's not great. But behind that, a 128 and a 122 for Lachie Neale. He comes in at number 3. Number 4 was going to be Ting English until Bruce smacked him out. Cop that, dog. Anyway, that's another conversation. Brayshaw coming off 141 and 131 in his last 2. This year already against Carlton. He's already played him once for a 116, a 124 before that. So, under the roof, I really like Brayshaw, as I have the last couple of times he's played for those big scores. Number 5 on the list has to be Callum Mills. Last 5 weeks for him have been elite. He's a legit gun. At the SCG, 116 last week for him. Before that, 126, 102, 112, and that 156. The problem is, if you want a flag, there's one. Take that one. You can have it. But if you want another flag, you could look at this. Career, 6 games against St Kilda. Mills, 0 tons. Take that as you will. Roy Laird against North Melbourne at Blundstone. She's going to be fresh. She's going to be cold. And as we know, North Melbourne are actually equal to West Coast in the last 5 weeks, okay, for giving up points. He had 124 last week, which is his actually highest score for the year. He scores on North Melbourne. You ready for this? 140, 90, 100, 115, 138 is ridiculous. Oh, flag? Want another flag? Of course you bloody do. He could get tagged by Kanye Turner, or Kane Turner for those playing on home. The reason being, Turner went to Josh Kelly, the Giants' best ball winner last time that they played, and held Kelly to like a 95. And it was a hard tag. I can't see it happening, but it will drop him down to number 6 on my list. Jordan Dawson is here as well. He could be a massive, massive get this week. 118 last week. And the thing I like about him, defending on the wing, it doesn't matter. He will rack it up. 2 weeks ago, GWS against North Melbourne, we saw. And it's not about him being a defender, because I know he's also a wingman, but Himmelberg, 16 marks for 161. Whitfield, 14 marks, 130. Cumming, 128 from 10 marks. Taylor, 11 marks. My point here is, if anyone wants the ball in their hands, they kick it to him. If there's going to be a mark, he gets the mark. He will have, mark my words, get it? Double figure marks, and he will get a ton plus. You're looking at a 120 for him. Number 8, Josh Kelly, just because Collingwood are the number 1 easiest mids to score against in the last 5 weeks. His record has not been good though recently, 73 last week, but that's against the Dogs, who we know are one of the hardest teams to score against. And the week before that, he had a 95 with a tag. I think he comes out after his bye on fire. Previous scores against Collingwood, 75, 115, 111, 118, 162, if you don't mind. Sam Walsh is in there at number 9 just because it's Sam Walsh. He is elite, 126 and 116 in his last year against Freo. And he's gone over 109 in 4 of his last 5 games. Rounding out my top 10 is Cam Guthrie. Called it last week. The Pirate knows what he's doing. Guthrie comes out with that 126, who is on fire at the moment. Last scores against Richmond were last year, 117, 139. I also like Jared Lyons this week. His numbers against Melbourne are huge, which sort of boosts the stocks here of like a Lachie Neale with the fact that Melbourne do give up a lot of points. Anyway, they are... Oh, no Touk? Of course not. He sucked last week. Good luck, legends.
Cowards, captains, Calverts.